Group photograph of members of the Brighton Swimming Club, England, 1863. Shells from an Allied bombardment all fired in a single day on German lines in 1916. A lineup of men dressed as ladies in Brazil, 1913. Arnold Schwarzenegger with girls, 1976. Three women in Marshall, Texas, 1899. Fair fun, 1930s. Two young women enjoying themselves on the Caterpillar ride at Southend Fair, Essex, 1938. A man begging for his wife's forgiveness. Inside Divorce Court, Chicago, 1946. Parisians navigate floodwaters by walking across rows of chairs, 1924. Amateur Victorian Dramatics, source and theater unknown, 1890. John Travolta and Marilu Henner at Studio 54, 1965. The Art of Domestic Dentistry, 1897. Female firefighters in action in London, circa 1916. Late Victorian family frolics, 1880. Abraham Lincoln and George McClellan, 1862. JFK being served fettuccine Alfredo by its inventor, Alfredo Di Lelio, at the restaurant Alfredo in Rome, Italy, 1963. Sharon Tate showing off the baby clothing she had bought in London, UK, in 1969. Inside California Alligator Farm Amusement Park where kids could ride and play with alligators, 1920s. Elvis driving bumper cars, 1960. Door to a congressional bunker in case of nuclear war, USA, 1960s. The Beatles having fun in the pool, 1964. Jane Mansfield posing in a bikini at the edge of a swimming pool filled with bottles shaped like bikini-clad versions of herself in Los Angeles, California, 1957. Before meeting her future husband, Jackie Kennedy had been working as a photojournalist for the Washington Times-Herald. Ballet dancer Rudolf Nureyev's feet, photographed in 1961 by Richard Avedon. Two Boys in London, 1902. Six-year-old Jewel Walker picks 20 to 25 pounds of cotton a day, 1916. Arnold Schwarzenegger posing with a girl on the beach, 1978. The Azorian hood, known in Portuguese as capote e capello, is a traditional garment from the Azores, worn until the 1930s. Here's a camouflaged road. In Finland, during WW2, the trees were hung up with rope, so the Russians couldn't see the road, 1941. Mr. Rogers invites a black officer to his show and asked if he wanted to cool his feet off in his mini-pool. Brazilian girl, refusing to shake hands with military dictator João Figueiredo, 1979. Ava Gardner, age 19, 1942. People show off the tattoos given to them during an amateur tattoo artist contest in France in 1950. Two members of the Bertram Mills Circus walk head-to-head at Hammersmith Broadway in London, 1953. The evolution of the female bathing suit from 1875 to 1927. Josie, 6 years old, Bertha, 6 years old, and Sophie, 10 years old, worked regularly at the Maggioni Canning Company, 1903. Freddie Mercury said to Mary Austin in his will, "If things had been different, you would have been my wife, and this would have been yours anyway." 1984. In 1917, 16-year-old Elsie Wright and her 9-year-old cousin Frances Griffiths took photos with the Cottingley fairies. They only admitted the photos were faked in 1983. In the winter of 1936, a clothier in Denmark came up with an odd but effective sales scheme. He hung more than 1,000 overcoats from a scaffold around his shop. Having a little fun on the beach in 1940. In the 1940s, men dressed in shorts and cowboy boots served up to women at a drive-thru in Texas. An unidentified boy arrested for stealing a car despite being just 11 years old. Owen John Baggett, American World War II pilot, known as the only person in the world to shoot down an airplane with a pistol shot, 1941. A squad of professional rat catchers at work during the bubonic plague epidemic, Sydney, 1900. The famous two-headed dog from the project of scientists Pavlov and Demikov, 1954. A cook preparing a penguin for lunch during an Antarctic expedition, 1915. Pre-war U.S. Troop Support Group, Hawaii, 1936. A former prisoner of the Auschwitz concentration camp selects his glasses, 1945. Calvin Klein with his daughter after her release from kidnappers, New York, 1978. A Zulu tribesman pulls a tourist in a pedicab in Durban, Union of South Africa, 1930s. The danger is routine for the steelworkers building the frame of the Empire State Building, 1930. Photo of the toes and torch of the Statue of Liberty sitting on Bedloe's Island before they were hoisted on the pedestal, 1885. Che Guevara's Last Moments, Bolivia, October 1967. Vicky Dugan, the provocative model who was once known as the Back of Hollywood, 1950s. U.S. Marine provides water to a stray kitten found hiding under a knocked-out Japanese type, 95, Hago. Light tank, 1943. Audi workers demonstrating the body, strength of the Audi 920, 1938. This shot shows more than 7,000 bags of gold and silver that had been looted by the Germans during the war, 1945. Soldiers wearing gas masks while peeling onions at Tobruk, 15th October 1941. Battle in front of the Capitol. Republicans and Democrats have a snowball fight, 1921. An assortment of antique chairs in an antique shop, New York, 1943. A young Pamela Anderson riding a motorcycle, 1991. Mike Tyson with his wife, mother-in-law, and the future President of the United States, 1988. Barack Obama dressed up as a pirate with his mother in Hawaii, 1960s. Mona and Beth in the shower, Ward 81, Oregon State Hospital, Psychiatric Facility for Women, 1976. The patient, horny tumors. The whole skin of the nose and cheeks was covered with horny sores, 1871. Wrestlers from the Nubian people living in the Nuba Mountains on the border of Sudan and South Sudan, 1949. Kodak's UK head office on Clerkenwell Road, London, 1902. Mummified head of a cat, 664 to 30 BC. A permit to carry a gun issued to Eleanor Roosevelt for refusing to serve as a presidential guard, 1957. David Kirby's father holds his son's head tight for one of the last times before AIDS will steal the young man away, Ohio, 1990. The winner of the first multi-day bicycle race Tour de France Frenchman, Maurice Garnet, who received a prize of 3,000 francs, 1903. Obama was on strike during Mrs. Hefty's fifth grade class during the 1971-72 school year. The Bar Girls of the Vietnam War, Hard Realities in Saigon, 1960s. A little-known painting by Kazimir Malevich, Woman in Two Dimensions, 1915. Beautiful photos of a young Sybil Shepherd, 1972. "48 cars in an elevator parking garage in downtown Chicago's business district, USA, 1936. A Friedrichshafen FF-49 two-seat reconnaissance seaplane crashed into the roof of a building, Germany, 1919. Lumberjacks take a photo with a Douglas fir tree, Washington, 1899. Muhammad Ali is shown jockeying singles into the Philips record player in his 1959 Cadillac Eldorado. Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud relaxing in a bathhouse, 1907. "16 years old Celine Dion in 1984. Limbless man Prince Randian, who was also known as the Snake Man, the Human Torso, and the Human Caterpillar, 1889. Weird ad from the 1950s. Let us know in the comments if you like them. The original Mickey Mouse looked a little bit different and not so lovable, 1947. Philadelphia Hospital, 1871. American scientist James Stuckey and a volunteer demonstrate the ability of the human body to conduct electricity during a lecture in New York, 1966. Recording of the arrest of a dangerous criminal in Baltimore, 1909. Since the police officers involved in the operation were working undercover, their faces are covered with white masks. Result of a lost bet on the outcome of the 1948 U.S. presidential election. A competition for the longest hair in 1926, Genevieve Slade won with a result of 152 centimeters. Collapse of the grandstand during the Indianapolis 500 race, USA, 1960. A bathing machine was a device for bathing on sea beaches in the 19th century, allowing men and women to bathe while maintaining the rules of decency of the time. One of the first computers, Maniac, at the Los Alamos National Laboratory, 1952. Half-time during a football match, England, 1920. A trainer for increasing height, 1931. Beach style from 1915. A woman from Bakutu, Belgian Congo, now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, 1957. Italian actress Claudia Cardinale on the set of Once Upon a Time in the West in Italy, 1968. A Carmelite nun kneeling in prayer in her cell, France, 1904. Admiral Byrd's snow cruiser drives through traffic, Framingham, Massachusetts, 1939. The making of the 1961 animated film 101 Dalmatians. A shoemaker poses next to a special pair of shoes. 1927. A researcher at the Elis Research Laboratory tests a motorcycle helmet by dropping a steel ball on it. 1957. Miss USA Contest, 1945. Write in the comments who you would vote for. BBC Sound Effects Department, 1927. A method of combating vagrancy in the USA in the early 20th century. A tramp was caught and put in a chair, then left on the street for 10 hours or more. Sabrina Chebichi, Kenyan athlete who won the 1973 marathon barefoot and in a dress. A popular game of the 40s, the goal of which was to pass a ring to a partner only with the help of a pencil clenched in the teeth. USA, 1947. Museum staff assembling a dinosaur. USA, 1904. Treating skin diseases in pigs with ultraviolet light. Ilford, UK, 1938. Brigitte Bardot, Saint-Tropez, 1955. Moroccan women, Morocco, 1971. An Italian woman examines the clothing of Scottish soldiers, 1944. Young Demi Moore in the 1980s. A sufferer of tubercular leprosy in 1891. Wall of bones in the Paris catacombs, 1920s. A little boy riding an odd giant rabbit, 1956. Donald Trump, left, sweeps his bride, Marla, off her feet to kiss her in front of photographers after their wedding ceremony, 1992. Ted Bundy playing with his ex-girlfriend's daughter. Bullet bra, the indispensable underwear for the sweater girls in the 1940s and 1950s. Five-time world champion, Norwegian speed skater Oscar Mathisen and his awards. The powerful legs of athlete Arthur Saxon, Netherlands, 1920s. Young members of the future Beatles. Children playing with a toy guillotine, France, 1959. Calamity Jane and Cowboy Teddy Blue Abbott, wearing each other's hats, shared drinks at a saloon, 1887. Soviet First Lady Nina Khrushcheva and Jacqueline Kennedy, 1961. 5 megabytes of data, 62,500 punch cards, 1955. Joe Reed's Guinness World Record-breaking jump, the distance between buildings was 19.8 meters, 1998. The embalmed body of Julia Pastrana, 1860. British soldiers, interrupted during drag show rehearsals by a German raid, manning a naval gun at Shoremead Fort, England in 1940. Guy de Rothschild and Marie-Helene de Rothschild, The Rothschilds' Surrealist Ball, 1972. Advertisement for Lucky Strike cigarettes as a weight loss aid, USA, 1927. World War I veterans with masks covering their wounds, 1919. A Man and His Goat Mobile, early 1900s. a dinner table set up for 14 unsuspecting guests in 1946.